Uniswap Foundation ready to defy. SEC watch us reigning high. Crypto warriors breaking the chain. Freedom in finance we will sustain.
I don't know if you could end the
Sorry, can't hear you.
accept people from the web.
Yeah, I'm accepting right now.
Oh, bro. We're waiting for people to come in and join the tunes.
They're gonna leave us as soon as they join.
Everyone post where you're coming in from. GM from Brooklyn.
GM from Toronto.
We're not sponsored by Unicast Labs, the foundation, or the lyrics.
Bro, this song.
Wait, what is this song? Is this an AI generated Uniswap song?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Who made this? Who did this? Oh my god.
We've changed the
SEC can't catch it.
Just say breaking and we going to prove that. Our knowledge is going to prove that.
What?
Okay, one more minute and then we'll get started. Looks like a good crew already.
Decentralized dream, it's happening now. Uniswap before.
And I have my first stand-up class today.
You should just go sing this song over there.
Governance through code, no need to bow. Decentralized dream, it's happening now.
Oh, it's awesome.
Uniswap before we're forced to trust. In code we believe, and in each other we must.
Oh, that was a cute line. That was actually kind of cool. Okay, thank you everyone for joining our first ever demo day for the Uniswap Hook Incubator. And my screen froze. Let me get back. Can you guys see me and hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Welcome everyone to the first demo day of the Uniswap Hook Incubator. I'm going to kick it off with some opening remarks before we let the demo. We are very excited to have built this program. We're excited about Uniswap v4 coming out later this year. There's a lot of flexibility and customization that v4 brings with all kinds of potential for experimentation. And we're really proud to be part of the effort in making that happen. We were funded by Uniswap Foundation to empower the first generation of v4 Hook developers. So thank you to the foundation for helping us get started. And we're excited to deliver many more demo days to come. Shout out Ken and other folks in the room who are here with us. Aaron for helping us get started. Sauce for having, office hours every week and helping build the curriculum. Beta and Devin for promoting all kinds of things. So really proud of working with this team and getting this off the ground. The goal of this program is to build a communal experience where people can learn and ship together. We wanted to merge the spirit of a hackathon, the structure of a cohort-based course, and also the curation of a startup accelerator and building really impressive projects. The link to the program is right here, atrium.academy/Uniswap. And again, we're really proud to have built and finished the first cohort. In that first cohort, we onboarded 100 devs. 51 of them made it through 8 intensive weeks of learning and building on the very cutting edge of V4. They contributed towards building 37 unique projects, and we were fortunate to have prizes sponsored by the foundation and some of our partners. So both Eigenlayer and Brevis, who are also in the Zoom with us today, post in the chat if you're here. They did a guest workshop both on Eigenlayer and on Brevis, and how it's possible to build really creative hook ideas. And they also contributed all kinds of ideas as well. So this is a little preview of our request for Hookstock, where they added 6 different crazy ideas that could be built with hooks. And it was really fun jamming on with these partners. So thank you for not only giving a guest talk, contributing ideas, but also contributing a 5K prize each for best Eigenlayer and best Brevis integration. In total, there were 37 unique hooks built. Shout out to all of these wacky ideas. Thank you for everyone who contributed towards this. Manu told me to pause for a screenshot, so here I am. Tag yourself if you're in this picture. Oops, okay.
Yes, and share on Twitter too.
Share on Twitter too. All of these projects live on a public page that you could access with this URL, bit.ly/hookathon1. So please go to here, or you can just whip out your phone right now at this QR code, and you will see this beautiful page created with all the different submissions from the projects. And if you click through, there's more information about them, the problems they solve, links to the projects, and we'll also market all the projects after the hackathon. And today we're excited to have 12 of these projects present. We also want to give a shout out to the judges who are here with us. We have Nadir and Ishan from Eigenlayer. We have Mo from Brevis and other Brevis teammates. Ken, who's from the foundation himself, as well as Sauce. And then investors, Derek, Ani, and Nikhil from Variant Fund, Dragonfly, and USV. They all think deeply about DeFi, and they're very excited to see the kind of hooks and projects built around the hook ecosystem. So shout out them for participating. And also want to give both Ken and Hardik a moment to say a few words. I'll let you go first, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like where do I start, right? Big kudos to yourself, the Atrium team, just putting this all together. I mean, this is just kind of like beyond what we could have expected or anticipated in terms of like turnout, in terms of the types of projects. And like, I had a sneak peek of the project, so maybe unfair, but it's so cool to see all of this, right? I think like when we think about Uniswap and how V4 sort of expands the surface area for growth, we all thought theoretically, this would be so cool if we had XYZ, if we had like all of these developers, all of these engineers with like great ideas to just build hooks. And now sort of fast forward a couple months, we're seeing this come to life. It's just such an amazing feeling. Like I think something to anchor all of this is as Uniswap grows, right? It is just agnostic protocol. The success of the protocol really comes from everyone else, like all of the engineers here, all the developers, all of the ideas that you all have come up with, and Atrium for sort of like helping harness the momentum of. Like that is ultimately the success of the protocol. Like we would not be able to kind of grow without any of this. And so I'm so excited for not just today, but the future of Uniswap. It just looks so bright with like all of these teams, people, and energy just wanting to dive in. So thank you all for being a part of this journey with us.
Amazing. Thank you, Ken. And Hardik, love to hear some thoughts from you.
Absolutely. I don't even know. So, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet for me because I've spent so much time with these people over the last 2 months or so. Hopefully you didn't get annoyed, but hopefully you learned some stuff. I remember sort of when we were just starting out late April, we said that, this cohort one is going to be the epitome of building a plane while flying it because how sort of fluid everything was in Uniswap before and how things are changing. Like we do a lesson one day and the next day it'd be like out of date and doesn't work anymore. So just like thanks everybody for sticking around and hopefully you had fun and I skimmed through some of the projects, super excited for everybody who's presenting today. I'm proud of everyone who submitted something and got a lot of DMs about people, you know, oh, I still have a bug left over or like I wasn't able to 100% finish my project, whatever. It's fine. It was very time constrictive and, lots of things were changing. I think if you've made it here, if you're on the call, if you submitted something, you've already done amazingly well. And I'm very, very proud of that. And don't worry about that one last bug or whatever. It's fine. It's a hackathon at the end of the day. But it's been an absolute pleasure working with all of you. And yeah, super excited for all the demos today.
Yes, awesome. And yeah, thank you, Hardik, for doing all the work and putting together curriculum, the live workshops, the office hours. I think all these projects can say they wouldn't be here without you today. I will let Manu take over from here and calling out the different projects, and they'll take over with the presentations. And I'll let you share screen too, Manu, if you can take over as well.
Yeah, all right. Is it visible?
Yep.
All right, so we have 12 hooks in total for today. Levery, am-AMM, Degen Options, Swap Pools, Unicast, Fidelity, MEV Auction, UniMarket, Lumis, and the last volatility-based dynamic fee, Vortex Protocol, and consumer-related incentives. That's a lot. Okay. Let's start with Levery. I think Cristiano from Levery is presenting. Cristiano,
Yes, thank you.
let's go.
I share my screen. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Cristiano, and I will present you Levery. Levery is a DEX infrastructure protocol that connects financial institutions with DeFi. It uses Uniswap v4 to reduce stocks arbitrage and follow strict compliance standards. Our team background spans technology, blockchain development, and regulatory compliance. Together, we found a Wireshape enterprise EVM blockchain networking, and now extend your collaboration to Levery. We have assisted financial institutions in developing regulatory compliant crypto products and providing solutions for CBDCs. Our collaborations include companies like Active Trades, Interbank, Matir, and Cipro, Brazilian Federal Data Processing Service. Levery addressed two main problems. Problem one, the toxic arbitrage on DEX. Nowadays, liquidity providers on DEX face toxic arbitrage problems, causing impermanent losses and reducing their profits. And problem number two, compliance issues for financial institutions that are subject to strict regulatory frameworks, making it impossible for them to interact with DEX. And here we have a huge opportunity. Currently, the crypto market cap is $2.5 trillion, and blockchain can disrupt $867 trillion in traditional markets, according with World Economic Forum report. And to solve these problems, we present you Levery, a DEX infrastructure protocol that connects traditional financial institutions with DeFi, and it uses Uniswap v4 hook features to reduce stocks arbitrage and ensure compliance for LPs and swappers. And how it works. Before each swap, Levery hook gets current pool price and Oracle real-time market price. Levery hook compares the prices of these two sides and dynamically update LP fees to adjust the final price with the market price and is still competitive for swappers. With this framework, Levery is able to mitigate toxic arbitrage and impermanent loss, increase LP returns. We run simulations comparing historic swaps on Uniswap v3 on Ethereum mainnet with results using Levery Hook. The simulations show 6 times more gains for LPs using Levery. And even with adjusted fees, Levery pools stay competitive for swappers compared to Oracle market prices. We create a GitHub repo where you can download this full simulation log or run your own simulation at different periods. Address the problem 2, the regulatory challenges. Levery integrates advanced compliance tools to ensure all activities follow global regulatory standards. This framework builds trust and promotes the mass adoption of DeFi by institutional investors. We have deployed Uniswap v4 core on Sepolia testnet and connect Levery Hook contracts and front-end to it. On Levery platform, both swappers and LPs undergo strict compliance checks. The Levery Hook verifies QIC, QIB, and AML user status before each swap. The platform and API integrate swaps and liquidity providers, manage their interactions and transactions seamlessly. And Uniswap v4 Pool Manager executes swaps with dynamic fees updates, ensure fair and efficient transactions. This setup allows financial institutions to engage with DeFi, complying with regulatory requirements. For a deep understanding, we invite you to read the Levery white paper. In details, you have our methodology, the technology behind the Levery protocol, and the market research to support your solution. You can access this at whitepaper.levery.org. You can try the Levery platform by scanning this QR code or access the test.levery.org. I would like to thank the entire Uniswap Team Foundation and the Arthur Academy for this opportunity. Thank you also our mentors at Uniswap Hook Incubators, Hardik, Zifran, and South Point. And if you are a DeFi investor and want to know more about Levery, feel free to talk with me. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Cristiano. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have Lecky next.
Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Lecky Lau. We are a team of 2 people, me and Chilling here, introducing the option managed automated market maker. So am-AMM is an innovative advancement in the DeFi space, addressing the inefficiency of traditional AMM by integrating auction mechanism. We distribute risk with complexity and effort from passive liquidity providers to pool manager. Our implementation is based on the am-AMM paper published by Uniswap Labs and Paradigm. So there's an existing limitation of traditional fixed fee AMM. That traditional AMM can suffer losses to informed traders who exploit price discrepancy. This is often referred to as loss versus rebalancing or impermanent loss. Determining the optimal fee for trades is challenging. High fee reduce arbitrage but deter retail traders, while low fee attracts more trades but increase losses to arbitrage. Here comes the key features of am-AMM, that the manager can adjust fee based on market condition, optimize revenue from uninformed flow, and attract more liquidity than traditional fixed fee AMM. The pool charge ran for manager, which increased profit for LP and attract more liquidity. So here's how it works in a high level. The current epoch is epoch 1, and then everyone can bid for the future epoch that, for example, manager 1 comes in to bidding epoch 2 with the LP token to become the manager. And then manager 2 comes in to paying 10% more rent and become the new manager for the epoch, for K epoch from epoch 2 to epoch 4. And then manager 3 comes in to bidding more, become the new manager for epoch 3 and to epoch 5, which will also trigger a refund for manager 2 for the epoch 3 to 4. And then user 1 comes in to do a swap, and then the swap fee will be minting as a claim token to manager 3. For the LP, they can enter and exit the pool anytime, but with there's a current manager, then will be a LP withdrawal delay. So there's drawbacks of the am-AMM that the manager's ability to trade without fees might make the pool more susceptible to sandwich attacks. The mechanism could lead to centralization of block builder infrastructure or parties with greater sophistication or access to private order flow. Here's a technical approach. There are 2 smart contracts that the am-AMM contract contains the core logics, and the am-AMM hook implement all the hooks. On the left-hand side is the before remove liquidity hook that the LP withdrawal delay and burning the LP token there. And there's a after swap hook that means swap fee as claim token to manager and charge rent by burning the manager's LP token. So the existing paper shows the design of the am-AMM, but lack of lab simulation or comparison with other AMM designs. Now with the actual implementation, we could extend the research to provide more data and understanding more liquidity in equilibrium. We also plan on applying for a grant to adopt this implementation to different designs such as concentrated liquidity AMM, as different LP range could have different returns. So the am-AMM represent an innovative approach to addressing key issues in AMM design by using an auction mechanism to dynamically manage fees and reduce arbitrage loss. This mechanism aligns incentive for sophisticated market participants to optimize fee settings and manage arbitrage, ultimately benefiting LP. However, it also introduced new challenges such as potential susceptible to sandwich attack and risk of centralization, warranting further research and optimization. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lucky. We have next Dex from Degen Options. Dex, if you're here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we're team Degen Option, and we essentially want to bring back the good old days of DeFi summer. And we're team Degen Option, and we're the co-founders of Semantic Layer, Transaction Sequencing Layer, and we're also co-founders of Verilog Solutions, a smart contract security company. We've been working together since 2021. And it's an honor to be in this incubator program and build some interesting stuff. So on a very high level, like 4 years ago, exactly 4 years ago, we had DeFi Summer, and behind DeFi Summer is really like liquidity mining, the master shift contract, right? That basically kick off the entire DeFi Summer. So we saw about, okay, 4-year anniversary for DeFi Summer. Like, can we build something that's similar to master shift? Can we build some mechanism that's similar to liquidity mining? Maybe instead of incentivizing liquidity, we can start incentivize trading volume use of V4 pools. So we just started that idea, and then later we're starting to realize if we just simply issue additional token to people who are swapping trading on this venue, then it'll be too simple, and people, they will just farm and dump the token like people did back in the liquidity mining days. So that's what inspires us to build a more sophisticated mechanism. So instead of giving a plain token reward, we give users an option which they can exercise later on if the price does go above their strike price. So for the average traders, they trade with Uniswap V4 pools that integrates Degen option hook, and they can earn a Degen option. And if the token moves, if the price goes above the strike price, then exercise the option, receive some gains. And if the token price tanks, they lose nothing because the option itself is given to them as a trading reward. And for the Degen option farm deployers, first, obviously, they receive a boost in trading volume. That's going to help them to get attention, get eyeballs, get featured on CoinGecko or DEX tools. And second is that since the rewards are issued in the form of option instead of plain token rewards, they can reduce the farm and sell dynamics that we're seeing in the green mining. And third is that whenever people exercise the option, they actually pay to this Degen option contract. And then the deployer can actually decide what percentage of that proceed will be used for a buyback from the pool, and what percentage of proceeds that the farm deployers they can just claim as their own revenue source. So this solves a big problem for meme coin right now, because for meme coin deployer, it's very difficult for them to make a revenue. But this presents is a kind of more sustainable revenue for them. And for LPs, well, obviously you're incentivizing trading volume, so LPs they can earn more trading fees. So it's essentially set up that everybody can win. Yeah. So on a very high level, architectural wise, we have the derivative controller contract. This is the hook contract we have built at the bottom left. So within the derivative controller contract, we have the ERC 1155 structure that stores everybody's option. And whenever somebody swap, they call Uniswap with a pool with Degen option integrated, and this pool will do a call to the derivative controller contract to mint the options. And later on, users, when they want to exercise the option, they can directly just call the narrative controller contract. And the reason why we name it narrative controller is to commemorate the Reddit user control the narrative. His story is very interesting. Go search for him. Like there are a lot of YouTube videos about him. We name it because, well, Master Chefs obviously named after Chef Nomi, right? So we want to name some of the true Degens for this contract. And there are some, so right now I already deployed the smart contracts on Sepolia, and we also built a front end and also the simulator, but obviously there are more works to be done. One is that on the front end, we have to implement the option exercise front end, because right now you can just directly call the contract, but there's no front end for you to use it. And second is that we want to make it permissionless, meaning that anybody can deploy a farm. So we want to build this front end because right now it's like manually deployed. And third is that right now we haven't implemented graph protocol to index all options held by the addresses. So right now you actually have to keep track of your options that you have earned and access those manually. And on the backend side, one thing is that with Degen option, you will actually get your option will expire if the token price drops below a level. That means we have to implement some liquidation mechanism. That part is already implemented in smart contract, but right now it's manually liquidated. So we're thinking about what are some of the ways that we can automate the liquidation. So one of the easiest ways is just to build a keeper, but I think maybe Brevis or Eigenlayer can present some more elegant solution than just having a keeper to watch and liquidate everybody's Degen option. And another thing is that right now we're just using spot price for the strike price, expiry price, and obviously it's prone to manipulation. So we need to improve this. Maybe use a TWAP or VWAP for the price calculation. And yeah, Degen option is going to be a feature in market making meme machine, which is a meme coin platform built on semantic layer. And here's the front end for that for Degen option. And actually, let me show you guys. There you go. Yeah, so can everybody see the front end?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So first, if you go to front end, you can click here for very detailed write-up explaining everything. But here is the simulator where anybody without connecting a wallet, they can just see what their return profiles are. So those are the parameters that you can set for the Degen option pool. You can set the moneyness, which is how strike price and liquidation price are calculated. And as a pool deployer, you can also specify how many options people can earn per $100,000 of trading volume. And then let's use Bitcoin, Harry Potter Obama 10 ELU as an example. So I can simulate, okay, what if I bought this Harry Potter token, on this date, and I bought like $1,000 of it, right? And if I bought $1,000 there with all those parameters I've set, I would have earned like 10,000 Degen option, which entitles me to buy 10,000 of Harry Potter token in the future at this strike price. But if the price of Harry Potter Obama dips below this expiry price, my option gets expired. So this introduced a very interesting P2P dynamic here, where some of the whales, they might be able to even like just target liquidate somebody else's option, so they can reduce the sell future future sell pressure. But it will be a very interesting mechanism. And also, one of the good things that I can actually immediately sell the Harry Potter Obama I bought, but still I earned that Degen option, because even though I'm no longer holding this token, but I contributed to the trading volume, so that's why I'm still entitled to the Degen option. So if I immediately sell Harry Potter, obviously I'm not exposed to the price fluctuation. So all that's remaining to me is just potential upside from the option. Or if I don't sell Harry Potter Obama, then this return profile calculator here, it will show me what's the return on my spot holding. Yeah, so this is similar. And here is the interaction with the contract. So actually, you can click connect the wallet. And you can select any of the Uniswap V4 hook pool that integrates Degen option here, and you will see like the earning rate and the moneyness, and then you can swap here. This is directly called the pool contract. So we have this part of the front end built, and what's remaining to build is the indexing. We have to index options held by the addresses so people can exercise, and also add another section where anybody can deploy a Degen option. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Dex. Cool demo. Everybody's loving the design of the chapter, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have internal swap pools by Tom.
Yeah, let me just get the screen shared for you.
Yep.
Okay, hopefully that one should be coming through now.
Yep, all good.
Perfect. Okay, so what I looked to create was more of a hook that could be used by external protocols or protocols starting up with an eye to expand later, which I'll come on to at the end, as opposed to a protocol in itself. So what I looked to do was, I know everyone here has probably woken up in the middle of the night just repeating this exact same problem. Help, my protocol collects token fees that are just being dumped by LPs. We've all had this problem. So if some of you are familiar of the platform NFTX, what they offer is the ability to take an ERC-721 or an 1155 and take your non-fungible token and convert it into a fractionalized ERC-20 so that you can trade fractions of your NFT, or you can come on and essentially swap these ERC-20s and get a full ERC-721. So it offers a really good marketplace that allows for fractionalization, which is a great product and a great tool. But the way that they get fees for liquidity providers who come in and put ETH against these fractionalized tokens is there are percentage fees, which we can see from the Pudgy Penguin pool range from 2% up to 5%. So if you come in to make a sale, you will be charged a percentage of the token. If you come in to make a buy, you're charged a percentage. And these tokens are taken in the ERC-20, the fractionalized ERC-20, rather than the ETH. So one of the problems that's faced there, because this works with older Uniswap pools like V2, is that we come up against a problem where the LPs are given these fractionalized tokens, and then it's either just sold into the pool or they're just stored up to try and purchase a full NFT at a later date. So what I actually wanted to do was get it so that LP providers wouldn't have this issue where they're given these tokens that are either just instantly dumped, which would affect the price of the token on the marketplace when they're converted into ETH, or are just held on to for a long, long time, because that doesn't benefit LP providers either. So how did I want to achieve this? So as we kind of said along the way in the introduction of this chat, it was kind of like building a plane while we were flying it. So I'd come up with a concept where we wanted to essentially front run Uniswap's swap functionality so that we could sell from an internal pool of these undesired fees, so that if a user came in and wanted to purchase these underlying fees, we would actually say, oh, well, at the current price, you get this much ETH, or for this much ETH, you will get this much token. And this would, in turn, rather than donating and distributing these undesired fees to liquidity providers, we would instead be distributing and donating desired fees, which are ETH equivalent tokens in this case. So the simple step, essentially, when people interact with a marketplace or whatever the protocol wants to do, we collect these undesired fees, which would be token 1 in this instance, and we can also collect token 0 as well. But then when a swap is made and a user comes in to purchase token 1, we can then just hot swap it into token 0 in the background. The user's none the wiser. And we also get the ability that, or the benefit that Uniswap is such a wise used tool. Doesn't matter if they're doing it through the protocol directly, like through the front end, or if they're doing it through something like Uniswap X, these kind of things will be calculated. And then after the swap is made, fees are distributed to LPs, so everyone wins. So we do this by hooking into the before swap logic. So if a user triggers the swap, we can see if a user is buying the undesired token, in this case, token 1. If they are, we check if there's tokens in the fee pool. If there is, we perform a swap using the internal pool before we even go to Uniswap. And we can then modify and alter the swap call that's going on to Uniswap. So we can say, is there a remaining swap balance? If there is, we then do the partial swap on Uniswap. Otherwise, we just bypass Uniswap in its entirety and we're done. So the benefits of using this, as opposed to just going directly to Uniswap, is we reduce or even potentially negate any price movement on the Uniswap pool. So this will mean that the token that people were wanting to buy would actually maintain the same value as expected. We help to reduce slippage for any amount specified that gets past the fee swap pool, because it's a reduced amount that we're looking at swapping. LPs receive the desired token, so they're getting this ETH equivalent, so they don't have to be in a case of, oh, I've got all these dust tokens from my different positions. Suddenly they've got one lush token already just to combine and withdraw. And the swap, the person actually doing the swap receives additional tokens. And the reason they receive additional tokens is because we don't put a fee on top of the swap that's being made, because it benefits the protocol and LPs. There is the option to put a fee in place, but at the moment it seems to make more sense that we don't. So in the example, putting in some actual numbers, if a user requested 2 undesired tokens to buy, and there was 1 token in the internal fees, we would get 1 token 1 given to the user costing 0.05, or sorry, 0.5, and 1 token when it hit Uniswap at 0.55. So the user has saved like some dust ETH, and the LPs have received actual ETH rather than this undesired token. And that's just assuming a 10% swap fee and a 1-to-2 ratio. But it's just a really nice linear flow to run through, and to what I think is quite cool, front run Uniswap in the way that they're actively supporting. So this was one of the features that I was really advocating for and reviewing on GitHub as it was going through as well. And then you can distribute fees just before a swap, before an LP either adds liquidity or removes their liquidity. So people don't come in and sandwich attack just to suck up some liquidity just before a swap's made. So you can't add liquidity, and just get in before these hooks come in. So where would I want this actual project to evolve to? So mainly I want to continue to extend the tests that are put in place to make sure there's no attack vectors, and make sure that the conversion rates can't be gained to kind of get more out the system. Also expanding the platform so that it's not just a hook that goes in to an existing protocol, but could just reference an external protocol in itself. So by allowing an external person to come in, you could specify, oh, well, I just want to allow token X to token 0, or just say if anyone around, if any other hook has like this token 1, this undesired token, and I need ETH, it can just kind of hook in from anywhere, rather than just internalizing these fees. So it would create kind of an external fees pool that anyone could swap into. And also looking to launch in an upcoming fractionalization protocol, which the NFTX and FlawDAO team have combined to actually make and evolving using Uniswap v4, which I'm very, very proud to be a part of. And this is where this idea kind of spawned from, and hopefully can become a bit of a public good that other protocols can benefit from. So yeah, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the whole team for helping me, especially Hardik, who went back and forth quite a bit with myself as the before swap deltas and all of these different things were evolving during the course of making this. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Tom. Next we have Unicast by Gordon. Yes, let's go.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to present Unicast, which is Hook built for forward-looking events. My name is Gordon Liao. I'm the chief economist at Circle. I'm previously head of research at Uniswap Labs. I'm joined here today by my teammates, if they want to come and say their name.
Sure. Syed. I have been in DeFi since DeFi summer, made the jump over from consulting. Shout out to Uniswap for my first ever airdrop, and yeah, built out a few lending protocols as well as a few options.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and I lead the Circle research team.
Right. Today, we are presenting a hook to solve a problem that's well known in traditional finance, which are the predictability of volatilities and price changes. Volatilities oftentimes changes due to known events, such as data releases, Fed announcements, and on and off market hours. Price also are quite predictable in some instances, such as anytime there's coupon payments for either liquid staking rebasing tokens, or in the traditional finance case of bond coupons and equity dividends. Now, this creates a problem because arbitrageurs are currently capturing all the expected price and volatility changes at the expense of LPs on Uniswap pools. And these predictable arbitrage are harming liquidity and leading to MEV leaks and to some extent deterring swappers. So we propose Unicast, which is a hook that adjusts both the LP fees and precision ranges by incorporating forward-looking volatilities and forward-looking price changes to rebalance LP positions. So one motivation of this is data release. For those of you who might have followed this morning, there was a CPI print that was very favorable, so all risky assets rallied quite hard right around 8:30 a.m. And these type of data releases are predictably known to have high volatilities. Therefore, they're required to have ex-ante fee adjustment to account for the divergence loss after. Now, ex-post fee adjustment or ex-post observation of price are simply too late because of the latency of price oracles. So what we propose is embedding the ex-ante adjustments ahead of time. Another motivation that's more degen is thinking about liquid restaking tokens. So here we're showing the arbitrage trade ratios for those who are buying and selling the wrap stake ETH versus wrap ETH in the Uniswap, I think it's 1-bit pool. And predictably, every day, stake ETH rebases around 12 p.m. UTC time, which means that an arbitrager could come in and buy the wrap stake ETH, which is the coupons gets accumulated in the price, and unwrap it with Lido at a better price. So these type of flows are quite predictable. And because of predictable nature, you also have predictable price changes. So wrap stake ETH tends to jump around this time of 12 p.m. UTC time. So dynamic fee can be inserted to capture most of these expected price movements, but they had to be done beforehand. And another reason for doing this is rebalancing. LPs need to stay in range when rebasing happens, when price movements are expected. So again, this is the wrap stake ETH versus ETH pool, where the price are constantly moving upwards because of the coupon payments. If the LPs do not adjust their position, they're left behind and no longer exposed to the swappers. So a event-led rebasing has to be placed in place. So therefore, we propose Unicast, which can be immediately adopted in DeFi for the case of wrap stake tokens, liquid staking tokens are rebasing, but also I think more importantly sets a standard for RWA liquidity pools. it turns forecastable events, which currently lead to predictable divergence loss, into predictable fee capture and rebalancing. And the broader market for this is quite large because the tokenized RWA market is estimated to grow to over $16 trillion by the end of 2030 by BCG. And most of these real-world asset instruments are either yield-bearing or dividend-bearing. And also they are subject to influence by macro events, which are quite volatile. So the ability to embed these type of forward-looking volatility and forward-looking price changes are just essential for these markets to function. So Unicast expands Uniswap Protocol's ability in the RWA market, just as traditional market makers would think about these forward-looking events and adjust their bid-ask ahead of time. Now I'll turn to my colleagues to present some more details of implementation.
On the technical side, Unicast relies on an Oracle system to gather and process the data. The Oracle system performs the off-chain calculations to determine the macro events and volatility data. Macro events, like Gordon mentioned, could include the CPI release from today, GDP numbers, options data, and anything else that can impact market conditions. The volatility data helps predict the price fluctuations and potential arbitrage opportunities. By calculating these factors off-chain, we ensure that the on-chain operations remain cost-effective. Once the calculations are made, the values are set through a keeper network and act as a bridge between the off-chain data processing and the on-chain contracts. The hooks within Unicast, specifically the LP rebalancing hook and the dynamic fee hook, call these Oracle values before and after each swap, which allows Unicast to adjust the fees and rebalance LP positions in real time based on the most current market conditions. The LP rebalancing hook ensures that the LP positions are automatically adjusted to reflect predictable changes in asset prices. And by increasing fee during periods of expected high volatility, Unicast can capture more value from the arbitrage opportunities and reduce divergence loss for LPs.
Now we've included a sneak peek of what the UX could look like. So a user goes in, tries to use the hook, wants to swap as usual, and you can see that there is a warning of expected volatility due to a macro event. And also the fee is increased due to that as well, proportionally. And as for benefits of Unicast, LPs harness what would otherwise have been divergence loss through dynamic fees and auto rebalancing, which earns them more revenue. And because of this attractiveness to LPs, we believe that these hooks would have better liquidity than other pools, which benefits swappers as well. And finally, this better liquidity is valuable to the issuers of applicable liquid staking tokens or RWAs, and this brings higher utility due to that, which can increase the market cap.
And looking ahead, we have several enhancements planned. First, we're working on incorporating Eigenlayer and Brevis into the Oracle layer to add more comprehensive macro event data forecasting to improve the accuracy and decentralized trust of our forecast. This will help us better predict market movements and adjust LP fees and positions more effectively. Secondly, we also aim to introduce better incentive mechanisms for LPs to encourage more participation. And finally, we also plan on implementing more robust permissioning for real-world asset pools, specifically for credit investors, which will be valuable since the market is continuing to grow.
Thank you so much. And please look us up on GitHub for these Unicast GitHub.
Thank you, guys. Amazing insight. Thank you. Next, we have Fidelity Hook. TT.
Allow me 1 second. Okay. Yes, we are Scarfish Devs. We are a team of 5 smart contract developers from Cluj-Napoca, and we have developed the Fidelity Hook. And basically, LPs often struggle with user retention and loyalty due to the lack of incentives for repeated use. Users frequently switch between multiple platforms, seeking the best rates, leading to fragmented user bases and unstable liquidity. And this constant search for better deals not only diminishes user experience, but also increases the overall cost of trading due to the lack of consistent discounts and benefits. So our hook addresses this problem by implementing innovative fidelity features designed to reward and retain users. So the two main features are the tokenized fee discount for swapping inside the pool, and the OG fee discount activated once you surpass a preset trading volume of a certain token across all existing pools of the chain. Now let me show you a little bit of the front end, how it would look like to initialize a pool. Basically, when you initialize a pool, you need to also specify values for the following configuration. You need to specify a lower volume threshold, an upper volume threshold. You need to specify a lower and upper fee percentage, and also a duration for what is called a campaign. Yes. So yeah, basically how it works, every time a user swaps in a Fidelity hook enabled pool, it will receive ERC 1155 Fidelity tokens equal to the swapped volume. And the user will pay the upper fee percentage up until it has at least the same amount of Fidelity tokens as the lower volume threshold. And past that point, the fee percentage will decrease with each swap up to a maximum of lower fee percentage dictated by the upper volume threshold. And volume is currently loosely defined as currency zero amount you're swapping in and that you respectively get by swapping currency one. And yeah, a campaign is defined as the period of time in which swappers get the benefit of their Fidelity tokens for fee percentage reduction, meaning each campaign will rotate to a new Fidelity token. And LPs will have their liquidity locked until the end of the campaign, with the possibility for recentering in order to mitigate scenarios in which swappers might have to grind for better market fee percentages by pairing pair ones initially. And an example of that should be, yeah, let's take the ETUSDC pool with the configuration shown below. And first, the user swaps 5 Ether by paying the 0.3 upper fee percentage and receives 5 Fidelity tokens. When the user swaps again, the previously obtained Fidelity tokens will reduce the fee percentage it pays to 0.25. And after 1 week, LPs can withdraw their liquidity and a new campaign having its own underlying Fidelity token begins. As discounts can stack, if the user would do the same swaps but has an OG discount of 30 activated, that would mean that the first fee percentage, so 30% of 0.3%, would be 0.21, and the next one, 30% of 0.25%, would be 0.175. And I want to show you also the swap screen, how it could look like. Let's say you want to swap it to DAI. And you would see here that, yeah, your fee is 0.25 because in the past 7 days, you surpassed a certain threshold. So yeah, we believe that this hook has the potential of giving birth to a new generation of market competitive pools that is tailored to a broad spectrum of liquidity and liquidity providers and swappers. And our main goal would be, let's say that we would like to be included in a Uniswap V4 front end if we could manage to tightly integrate all the features and all the things of the Fidelity hook. But to do that, of course, we need to bring our code to production quality, to do security audits, and of course, test it on Sepolia first, and then we would deploy to mainnet. Yeah, that was it. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Okay, we're halfway through the demos. Next is MEV Auction Hook by Chris. Chris.
Cool. Yeah, are you guys able to see the screen there?
Yep. All good.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm presenting MEV equals bad project focus on MEV Auction Hook. And yeah, about myself, I'm Chris. I'm a junior blockchain dev working at a startup called Olus Protocol. It's a decentralized media protocol, and yeah. So yeah, just to get started, I guess the objectives of this hook was to focus on reducing MEV, reducing impermanent loss for LPs, and trying to create more capital efficient markets in AMMs. So to begin, I'm going to do a quick technical walkthrough of how this hook works. So essentially, the idea behind this hook is that we're using the hook to call an eigenlayer ABS to spin up an auction, where people can, or ARBs can, place bids to carry out the swap. So the way that this works is a user will come in, they call the swap function on the pool. The before swap hook will be triggered. This then triggers the create new task function on the ABS task manager, which starts an auction of arbitrary length. For this case, we'll just say 10 minutes, in which time ARBs have the opportunity to submit bids by calling the submit bid function. Once the auction ends, then the highest bidder has the privilege of calling the execute swap function on the hook. This execute swap function then validates that they are the highest bidder and that they've sent their bid amount in the call value. And then basically the unlock callback calls the swap function on behalf of the ARB, and the output of that swap is then sent to the original swapper. And then the pool manager.donate function is called to distribute those funds that were raised in the auction to the LPs. So then obviously this reduces the spread for the arbitrageur, but it improves the or it reduces the risk of impermanent loss and improves the profitability for LPs participating in the pool. So yeah, just in terms of the, I guess, the business case for this, MEV is obviously referring to the max amount of value that can be extracted from block production during transactions like these, particularly in DeFi. Obviously, there's a lot of bad things that arise from MEV. There's unfair market practices. So creates an environment where insiders can basically profit at the expense of users and LPs by manipulating transaction sequences and leading to less favorable execution for users. And this obviously results in LPs receiving less favorable execution for their own trades and reducing their overall profitability. There's also leads to decreased trust and efficiency in AMMs in general, and also increased transaction costs for the average user who is participating in trading on these pools. So yeah, I guess in terms of the impact on LPs in particular, there's increased risk of impermanent loss. MEV can exacerbate impermanent loss for LPs if trades generate MEV that can result in significant price swings. So LPs can face larger disparities between the value of the assets they provided and their current market value. So it makes it more challenging for them to remain profitable. So that leads on to the next point. They've reduced profitability. And then there's also increased risk of more common malicious forms of MEV, like sandwich attacks and front running. So I guess the benefit of using the eigenlayer ABS and a V4 hook for this is we can reduce MEV related losses by controlling the transaction ordering, and we can minimize rebalancing losses. And there's also enhanced LP incentives. So, because the auction proceeds go directly to LPs, it can improve their profitability and improve the amount of fees they get and reduce the risk that they're going to experience impermanent loss. And also this would, improve market efficiency as well. And yeah, that was it for me. So thanks for that. And yeah, I guess in future, how I'd like to improve this going forward is I'd like to introduce more complex auction mechanisms on the AVS side of things, and want to build a proper front end that anybody can interact with. And yeah, that's about it for me. So thanks very much, guys, and thanks to Hardik and Bomik for being part of the first cohort of the hackathon. It was yeah, really great. So thanks, Mel.
Thank you, Chris. Amazing demo, cool design.
Cheers, thanks. Figure out how to stop
Cool.
sharing now.
Next,
Thanks.
yep. We have UniMarket next. Yes, let's go.
Hey everyone, I'm Akshat, and with me I have Thomas and Julie. We have built a prediction market with V4 hooks and eigenlayer. So I'm not going to explain too much what a prediction market is. I'm sure all of us already know that, but I will talk about some of the problems that they face. One of the main things that Polymarket specifically does is that they have an order book for their outcomes, which has issues with both liquidity and transparency. The most important way that you can already see this is because they incentivize the exact price that the current outcome tokens are trading on. So by having an AMM, it can improve liquidity and transparency for the market. And we'll talk more about that as we go forward.
So we have two contracts that make up our project. The first is the market manager, which manages the tokens for an individual event, prediction market event. And so there are two components to this. There are the outcome tokens, and then there are collateral tokens. We think of collateral tokens as USDC, but it could be anything. The market manager contract mints outcome tokens at a ratio of 1-to-1 for the collateral tokens, and you would get all of them. So if it's a sports game, there are two teams, and you deposit 10 USDC, you would get 10 each of the outcome tokens. Because at the end, there will only be one winner, and you can redeem the outcome token corresponding to the winner for 1-to-1 for a collateral token. This contract also handles resolution when it ends. We rely on Eigenlayer AVS Oracle to say who the winner of the event was, at which point users can redeem their tokens. And that's the market manager contract. Separately, we have the hook contract, and that constrains liquidity to a range that makes sense for the for a prediction market. One cool aspect of this is that if someone is a market maker on all of the tokens, there's no impermanent loss. The hook also manages the market maker, validates that the initialization was valid, and integrates with the market manager. And yeah.
Let's take a look at how it all works. So the market mints out n tokens for n outcomes, and each of the outcome token is then paired with the collateral, in this case, USDC. All of the pools are basically bonded together because it's functionless to mint and redeem these tokens in equal proportions. When it's time to resolve the market, we use an Eigenlayer AVS to get real world data inside our system and actually manage resolution. We also have a system for disputes with the dispute factory, which can be resolved based on attestations with AVS. And then the third and the most important thing is the liquidity. Now, because all of these pools are bonded together, there's no loss based on the outcome of these events. And for that reason, we can have protocol-owned liquidity as well as operator-based liquidity with an AVS. Now, since these pools charge a 0.3% fee, that's actually a great way for both the protocol to earn money as well as for AVS operators to earn money. There's a separate protocol fee, but we won't talk about it at this point. The liquidity for the operators can be initialized directly from the hooks, and that gives an easy way for them to earn something extra on top of their rewards.
So the front end isn't connected yet, but we have a prototype, and anyone who's used a prediction market before, this should look pretty familiar. This is generally what they look like. One cool feature is that using Uniswap has allowed us to make the backend much simpler and I think significantly reduce smart contract risk. The polymarket contracts are pretty complicated. They did a good job, but there's less trust in new smart contracts when you rely on something like Uniswap to do the swapping. And from the user's perspective, the front end looks the same.
Let's talk about what else we can do. So we can streamline the process of adding liquidity and swapping. Since all of these are pools on V4, users can go in and out of markets entirely from the V4 front end without integrating with our specific software. So that's a great way to engage with the community as well as the wallets. We can have additional functionality in hooks like dynamic fee based on the current state of the market and other factors. And then there is also the part where AVS integration can be streamlined a bit more. We also have to finish the dispute factory integration, but that's probably the least unknown part of this entire project. And yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Next up, we have Lumis. Yes.
Do you see my screen?
Yep. Okay.
Jim, for this hackathon, we have built hook-based options and combined them into liquidity as a service product. So what it's all about? Our personal goal as a team is to outperform Ethereum as much as possible without risk of being liquidated, which sounds like we need to use the traditional options, right? But the problem with options is that they have really terrible user experience. Like they're complicated, almost nobody understands them, and insanely liquidity fragmented, not to mention that they're pretty expensive to use. However, what if we can use Uniswap hooks to create a synthetic options by providing liquidity and dynamically adjust our position? For example, for the call option, the first half of the capital is going to the ETHUSDC pool. We provide liquidity on upside only, while the other half is going as collateral on Morpho, lending protocol to gradually borrow more USDC as Ethereum price continues to grow, and buy with it more long O squeeze, which is Ethereum squared. And this combination resulted in a significant Ethereum outperformance, as on the downside, we are fully consistent of Ethereum, while on the upside, we have this weird combination that resulted in a huge payoff. For the put option, it's quite the opposite. We just mirror the call option. The first half is going to the ETHUSDC pool on downside only this time, and the other half as collateral on Morpho to gradually borrow more Ethereum, not USDC, and buy with it more short O squeeze, which is Ethereum squared. Yeah. And the power of Uniswap hooks resulting in a pretty simple user experience. So you will need just to put your collateral and strike price, which can be whatever value you want. Or in other words, you can, with this approach, you can construct whatever option you would like to have without worrying about liquidity fragmentation or like finding counterparty, because in this case, your counterparty is just spot traders. And you can say, but here there exists Panoptic, which provides quite the same functionality. Yes, they do, but the thing is that instead of lending LP tokens by reserving the liquidity around the current price, we actually create more liquidity around the current price, because in our case, our liquidity providers are derivatives traders. And this factor resulting in a positive liquidity network effect. And moreover, this way we can minimize fee for the spot traders as much as possible, like just by setting it to 0. But the most interesting part is that if we have a call option that provides liquidity on the upside, places ETH collateral and borrows USDC to go long call squeeze, and put option is fully opposite. So what if we can match them together within an isolated lending market, Morpho? So this way, creating a kind of liquidity as a service protocol that can be deployed for any ERC20 token to bootstrap liquidity for your token It can be like brand new, it can be blue chip token, DeFi token, maybe some brand new meme coin or some forgotten shit coin. And this way we are solving a cold start liquidity problem for them by these Uniswap hooks. As for the technical details, under the hood, it's an integration of Uniswap hooks, Lending Protocol Morpho, Power Perps by Squeeze, and DK from Brevis, just to showcase like how powerful our option is by providing a hedgehog-based loyalty discount for the depositories of our vault on top of UniV3 that was launched like a really long time ago. And to summarize, our approach with options, with UniHooks options, provides you with the highly customizable, yet fully liquid and very cheap options that can be combined together into this liquidity as a service idea that can be deployed for any ERC20 token to solve its cold start liquidity problem. As for our team, we have background in quantitative trading and solidity development. Like a very long time ago in December 2021, we presented during the hackathon, we presented customizable hook stacks, which was a kind of proto version of UniV4, but without this weird UniV3 mess. And later we launched Liquid Hedgehog vaults that provides liquidity on UniV3 and hedges impairment losses with Squeeze. As far as our next steps, it's just to polish to production, raise some funding for audits, and mainnet deployment. Thank you for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you. Next up, we have Realize Volatility-based Dynamic Fee Hook by Sam.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, so we renamed this a little bit shorter, On-Chain. It's an on-chain volatility dynamic fee hook. And this project is focused on extending the graph to provide verifiable data and compute to Uniswap v4. The team was kind of big. We have Tan Trin from Georgia Tech. He did all of our Solidity. And then quite a few people from Semiotic Labs doing verifiability, UX, and I did project lead. Our key value proposition is that LPs sacrifice when providing liquidity during high volatility moments. And this hook lowers fees when the market is noisy or active. And it lowers fees when the market's quiet, and it raises fees when it's noisy. And our team, Semiotic, is the Graphs AI and Cryptography core dev team. And this is our first step in putting verifiable data and compute from the graph back on chain. And this our tech stack is based on the newer Substreams stack. At a high level, the technical flow is that we have what the graph does is it monitors all data from all major blockchains. And then we are extending the graph to now extract, for this project, we're extracting ETH USDC ticks from Uniswap v3 from mainnet. And in addition, we're extending to the graph to provide a proof of that data. We're then taking that verified data, and we have prototyped a coprocessor for this hackathon, and we're calculating the volatility of the Uniswap v3 ETH USDC ticks, and we're creating a ZK proof of that volatility, and we're putting it into our contracts that are deployed on Sepolia. In a little bit more detail about how the contract or how the flow works, we have the pool manager that is using before swap to set the fee. It's getting that from our Oracle-based hook, which is getting its fee from our fee Oracle, which is getting the fee from off-chain using our ZK coprocessor, which we built on the SP1 ZK VM. And all that was, integrated in with this coprocessor backend. In more detail, there are three main components to this. We have the verifiable data service. This is basically providing, the graph is indexing all this data, and then we've built a way to query the data. And the interesting thing from a ZK coprocessor perspective is that the graph is able to commit to the data from all these blockchains. So we get to leverage that commitment that the graph network is providing. We then have this coprocessor that uses the commitment from the graph, and we do a ZK proof based on the graph's existing committed data. And this lets us do these things really quickly because our coprocessor isn't responsible for going out and indexing the data. We can rely on the graph's previously indexed data and then create really efficient proofs on top of that we submit on chain. I have a demo for you. Let's see if it works. So this is we've deployed all these components. We're doing these. Some of these things are not done. Some of these things are partially done. So I don't want to oversell what we currently have working. But we do have the ZK proof working, and we do have the contracts deployed to Sepolia. And I'm going to show you this thing working end to end. So we're going to swap two semiotic ETH on Sepolia. The fee is set to 1,000 right now. We still have some arithmetic stuff going on. It's that we're still debugging, but oh, that's catastrophic. Let's see if I can try one more time. Okay. Well, okay, so it's currently doing what demos do, but we have executed transactions, and here is the key part of our contracts that are deployed on chain. We have this verify and update function that's called when we update the data with a proof. So this part verifies our proof and then updates the fee. For future extensions, we're going to, right now our company Semiotic is expanding our verifiability efforts. All this is based on the graph. And our goal with this is to provide a broad range of market indices to V4 Hook developers. So if you're a Hook developer and you want to partner, if you're interested in partnering, we'll give you like first-class support for your use cases. And we also want to extend the support not just to do verifiable like arithmetic, for example, these volatility calculations, but also have these decentralized autonomous keepers or other agents, decision-making agents. And so our goal is to provide support for applications like that. And we would love to work with you if you're doing something like that. Finally, thank you to Hardik and Bamik and everybody, all the other organizers. And also, it was awesome to meet all of the students in this course. It was an awesome course.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, we have two more hooks to go. Next one is Vortex. I think you're muted.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so who among you in the call would be comfortable having your friends, your family, your colleagues to have full access to read your bank account statement? Probably nobody. So apparently we took that as a normal behavior when we're on chain. Everyone can scrutinize your address and see everything, while privacy should actually be the default. Vitalik mentioned recently that he was using Railgun. It's a privacy set-off wallet. I've tried to use it, but it's quite difficult. So I feel like Lambda users will never start using crypto by using Railgun. Then also there are people who are scared to use Tornado Cash because they don't want to go to jail, for example, or more realistically, like their address will be blacklisted by USDC or labeled as fraudulent. Yeah, so there's a lot of blockers to enable privacy on chain. And there's a nice quote from George Orwell, the book. The choice for mankind lies between freedom and happiness, and for the great bulk of mankind, happiness is better and easier. So what I want to do is to embrace privacy on chain and embrace freedom. How are we going to do that? So Vortex, what it is? So it's a fully decentralized non-custodial protocol which is aimed to be secure and legal. The goal is to accelerate privacy on chain, so it acts as a mixer. The currency goes in and goes out of the Uniswap pool, and without the ability to link the from and to. So this thanks to ZK snark and the Pedersen hash. It is competing in the privacy market, which is valued at $6.7 billion last year. The product is similar to Tornado Cash and Railgun, as I mentioned earlier, with some twists. The main twist, which is that it's using Uniswap v4 pools, hooks, and pools, and which will also enable to have greater LP profitability, because they will. So it's kind of a utility pool whereby the LP enable privacy and could get a better fee by just having a USDC or stablecoin pool. The little roadmap that we have currently is to build a better UI, to think further than what. Sorry, I'm struggling with Zoom. Than what Tornado Cash has. Although we did a Figma, and this is the current UI. As in, I say we, but it's me and girlfriend helped me. And yeah, so the goal would be later to upgrade the protocol to enable multi-withdrawal, similar to Tornado Cash Nova, to do some gas optimization and research of the recent ZK paper, see if it's applicable to this product. Then the first step for the MVP would be also in order to be compliant, we have to generate receipts, so ZK receipts, where I can say that my funds are not coming from a blacklisted address or from a hacked protocol, for example. And we could top this up with a token to incentivize people to swap in this pool, and which will result in having a better privacy. We are looking for a Uniswap grant possibly to execute the roadmap. The goal, actually, there are a lot of extension to the product that we could have, like compared to Tornado Cash. For example, company using Web3 products to pay their employees. For example, using Sablier or other tools, they could create a pool on Vortex and issue notes to their employee. So they're similar to real life when you get a physical check, then you will receive a note and then you go and pull it out from any address and nobody knows who you are, basically. Yeah. So yeah, this grant would accelerate the mission and provide, the goal would be to provide a user-friendly way to onboard people to privacy. I've lost track of the time, but I don't think I have time for this. So yeah, this is my contact. Thank you for the bootcamp. It was great. Thanks for Hardik for being there, for teaching us all those weeks. And yeah, happy to be there today. Thank you.
Thank you, MEV. Okay, we have the last hook of the day, Akshat. Let's go.
Hello. It's me again. So we'll be talking about concentrated incentives, and we'll also talk about why it's important. So I'm Akshat. I'm a DeFi engineer, and I love to build many different things. One of them is this hooks. So let's talk about liquidity shape first. We have all seen this before, and in V3, all of the liquidity is better if it's closer to the actual price. In this graph, it's pointed by the middle chart here. And overall, the more liquidity there is at the exact price, the more depth is what we call it. If liquidity looks like this, we would want the incentives to look the same way as well. We want the incentives to go to people who are actually doing good work. And because in V2, we always used to incentivize the overall liquidity provided since there was no concentration, the same thing has carried over to V3, which is obviously inherently broken. So let's make the incentives concentrated as well. We can do that. So now that we have V4 with hooks, this concentrated incentives hook enables you to incentivize exactly the LPs that are doing the most work and be able to provide the most benefit to both the users as well as the protocols. Let's take an example here. So we have Alice and Bob, both of them are having 100 LP tokens, but Alice chose to deposit LP in a much tighter range as compared to Bob. In today's world, you'd see that Alice and Bob would receive the same rewards. And that's obviously not ideal because Alice's liquidity is definitely better. So in this hook, what we do is we only incentivize the active tick, which means that the current price of the pool is the only one that's being incentivized at this point in time. And if there are other liquidity providers as well, even outside of this range, they'd be incentivized based on how frequently their LP was in the active tick. In this example, Alice would end up with 2/3 of the rewards, but Bob would only end up with 1/3, which is accurate because that's exactly how much more valuable Alice's LP was. And that's it. That's the hook. It's an extremely simple hook and in what it does, but it's extremely impactful for both LPs as well as users.
Amazing.
Awesome. Okay, back to you, Bhamik.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for coming to this hackathon. It's our first annual one, or not annual, first of many this year. As you can tell, people put in the work. There were incredible projects built, and these are only a portion of them. As we mentioned earlier, there were 37 unique projects built in this hackathon. We dropped a link to some of the pages here. We will be sharing a lot more about these projects, and we'll be announcing winners on next Tuesday. Follow us at Atrium Academy to stay tuned for who won the Eigenlayer Prize, the Brevis Prize, and the 3 Uniswap Foundation prizes. We're really proud of all the projects built. Everyone who is here from the cohort itself, thank you for trusting us with your education. This is a brand new project with brand new code that's still yet to be deployed on mainnet, with projects and code changing all the time. So we really appreciate you for being with us. You will have lifetime access to all the content that we create as part of the Uniswap Hook Incubator. You'll have access to the community as well. We're going to be putting together an NFT certificate for anyone who completed the project for the capstone. We'll be sending out physical swag too, and we'll send out a form to capture that. So expect some Atrium Hook Incubator related swag. But yeah, we're really excited to have you, and you are all officially eligible to participate in future hackathons as well, for being part of this experience, and eligible for the prizes too. Last couple of things while we have people here outside of the program. Please help us drive applications for Cohort 2. It's coming up on July 18th. Applications are directly on the website, atrium.academy/Uniswap. As you can guess from the quality of projects built, this is a great way to speedrun your experience in V4, join a community of such talented people, including those who have presented today. You have exposures to investors and grant funders. We'll be setting up introductions for projects in the call today. And you can win prizes as well for the hackathon. And then finally, if you are like Eigenlayer and Brevis and would like to sponsor a future hackathon, reach out to us. Same DM, you can Telegram me, Bomi27, or reach us out over email. But we're really excited to have worked with Uniswap Foundation and making this happen. So thank you everyone for being with us, and a huge shout out to all the people who joined us. You can unmute and clap if you want. We'll do the last cheesy thing. Go ahead.
Amazing. Love this. Congratulations, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll miss seeing you guys in office hours and workshops. But all right. Feel free to DM on Discord. It'll be there. Anything comes up, missed it there, and yeah, keep an eye out for the. Should we sing the Uniswap song?
Oh yeah, drop the song again. And then I'll post a Discord announcement to everyone, summarizing what I just said as well. And yeah, do you want to drop the link? Manu, I'll play it.
Oh my God, I lost the link. Oh no.
Actually, I have it.
If anyone has it saved, please put it. Oh, let's go.
Uniswap Foundation ready to defy SEC.
Yeah.
And high. Crypto warriors breaking the chain. Freedom in finance.
I'll post an announcement in Discord. Thank you, everyone. And as the link. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Feel the trident teaching us strong. Knowledge is power, helping us along. Uniswap people in the crypto fight. Always standing up for what's right. Governance through